Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage the next congressman from the 2nd District, Paul LePage.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'd like to begin by thanking Steve Robinson. He couldn't be here today because he and his wife are awaiting a newborn. And so that's why he's not here in person. And thank you, Steve. It was wonderful. I also want to thank our supporters, and particularly Brent, Lizzie, Damien, and of course, my daughter, Lauren. I keep telling her that she's a governor in training. It's so great to be here today. Finally, coming out of retirement. My wife is sick of having me home. I would like to start with an applause for the greatest First Lady the state of Maine ever had, my wife, Ann. Maine is extremely lucky to have had her as a First Lady, and I am blessed to be married to her. So let me begin and get right into the meat of the matter. I'm not running for Congress because I need a job. I'm running for Congress because Maine needs jobs. And it needs to get rid of fraud and corruption. And I will tell you, the next governor, if the Republican, will certainly help clean it. And from Washington, I will do everything I can, along with Susan Collins, to make sure that Maine is cleaned up. Maine doesn't need a smooth-talking politician in the 2nd District. It needs a fighter. And you know, I have a reputation of not backing down. I don't shut up often. And I never quit. And I will tell you, I refuse to let the Democrats in Washington, D.C. waste time and money on impeaching Donald Trump. We have too much work to do. You know, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I grew up in an extremely poor family on the streets of Lewiston to a very large Franco-American family. I survived homelessness. I survived abuse. I had a childhood that would break most people. So when I hear a liberal talk about having hardships, I don't want to hear their lectures, and I sure as hell don't want their handouts. I lived it. And I learned very young, if you get up, you work hard, you earn your way. This is how I made it off the streets of Lewiston, had a successful business career, became a mayor, and served as your governor. And I was very, very proud to be the governor of the state of Maine. I lived the American dream. And despite the hard left, the socialists, the extreme Democrats, they want you to believe that they're out there to help you. They want to take care of you. The fact of the matter is, they want to permanently put you in economic slavery. They want Mainers to be in poverty. You know, I've said this many times. If you're an able-bodied person and you're on welfare, you can get off the couch and go get yourself a job. But under the Democratic rule, they're destroying the American dream here in Maine. And that's why in 2010, I stood up here before you all and said and made you a promise that Maine was going to be open for business. And for 8 years, serving as your governor, we did that. We didn't just do the talking, we gave results. We cut taxes, the largest tax cut in Maine history. We paid off the hospital debt and saved rural hospitals, at least at that time. We fixed welfare. Welfare should be intended as a hand up, not a handout. We lowered unemployment. We balanced the budget without using gimmicks. We cracked down on sanctuary cities. We gave parents school choice. And we protected our liberties. We didn't talk about results. We delivered them. And yeah, I said some stuff that made the left and the media lose their minds. In fact, they haven't recovered yet. And you know what? I say it like it is. Profit is not a dirty word. That is how jobs are created and families move ahead. Investment capital goes where it's welcomed and stays where it's appreciated. And right now, socialists are driving capital out of our state and out of our country. Where are we now? Electricity bills are skyrocketing. Heating costs is unaffordable. Young people cannot buy homes anymore in Maine. Why? Because the Democrats have taken Maine down a really bad road. More government, more control, more mandates, more handouts and fraud instead of good paying jobs. The left does not trust you. In fact, the left doesn't even like you. They don't believe in opportunity. They believe in controlling you. And every time you go down that path, the results are the same. Costs go up. Opportunity disappears. And the middle class gets crushed. They call it progress. It's not progress. It's socialism. Socialism doesn't work, never has. It won't work here and won't work anywhere. The truth is, I'm running for Congress because I've had enough. Enough families are getting squeezed. Enough rural Mainers are being ignored. Enough of the politicians who couldn't find their way to Ashland, Maine without a GPS or a safe space. They don't know struggle. I've lived it. I'm not going to Washington to play nice or blend in. You're not going to hear me being a backbencher. I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to call it out. And I'm going to fight for Maine and the 2nd District. So let's stop pretending. Too many politicians spend money we don't have. Too many politicians raise costs at whim. Too many politicians go to bed with lobbyists. The system works for them if you're part of their club. But we, the Maine people and the American people, are paying the price. You already know where I stand, but let me refresh you. I believe in hard work. I believe in freedom, not government control. I believe illegal means illegal. I believe benefits should go to Mainers and our elderly population, not to illegal aliens. I believe in backing all law enforcement, despite what Chuck Schumer says. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in common sense. I believe there's only two genders, male, female. I believe we should have a voter ID here in the state of Maine. I will always support Social Security and Medicare. Heck, I'm on it. And I will always stand and fight for our military and our veterans. Most of all, I want to fight for you here in Maine. The Democrats, they pretend to play it safe. Well, you know me, I'm not polished, I'm not scripted, and I don't play it safe. While Democrats pick winners and losers behind closed doors in the wee hours of the mornings, then they turn around and stick you with the bill. I'm not interested in the popularity contest. I'm not interested in government by public opinion polls. You know, this is the first time in my political career that I'm a front runner, and I'm nervous about it. I've always been the guy behind. Being a front runner is tough. You know, you may not always like the way what I say or the way I say it, but one thing you'll always know is where I stand. Like I said, and I've said it 100 times, if you want to be someone to be loved 100% of the time, get a dog. Now listen, this is really what matters. Nothing is going to change unless we change it. Nothing is going to be fixed unless we fix it. When I was alone, living on the streets, sleeping in a horse stable at the Lewiston Fairgrounds, a worker in the barns looked at me and said, "Kid, if it is to be, it's up to me." Those words I live by. If it is to be, it's up to us. Repeat it with me. If it is to be, it's up to us. If you're sick of high cost, it's up to us. If you're sick of being ignored, it's up to us. If you want your kids to have a good life here in Maine, it's up to us. If you want a stronger future and a stronger country, it is up to us. If we don't fight for Maine, no one will. I started with nothing. America gave me a chance. Maine gave me an opportunity, and we've all had an opportunity. Now it's time to give back. I'm here to fight one more time for you, your children, and your grandchildren. This will not happen by accident. This will only happen if we stand up, if we fight, if we take it back. And we can take Maine back. It's up to us. So if it is to be, it's up to us. So let's get to work. Remember, we need you to vote. And I will apologize, I stole a line out of the Democratic playbook. Vote early and vote often. Thank you all. God bless you. God bless Maine, and God bless the United States of America.